afternoon, East Texas. Welcome back to East Texas. Now, I'm your host, Michaela Goose. Of course, I'm going to be taking you up until 10 o'clock tonight. We are also joined right now with Dr. Shognik Daksheet. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
You're a UT Tyler researcher. How long have you been with UT Tyler?
I have recently joined, actually. I joined last fall, August.
So you're really already making waves throughout the school, aren't you?
Well, trying my best to contribute.
So let's just go ahead and jump right in. You recently conducted a study on AI's ability to medically self-diagnose. You looked at a couple of different algorithms that can do this for people and for consumers. But let's go ahead to start at the beginning. What made you interested in this? Why conduct a study on something of this nature?
Sure. Well, if you think about it, we have been using Google search as a long first go-to to type in a bunch of symptoms and say, hey, what is my diagnosis? But with the advent of large language models like ChatGPT, everyone's starting to use that. So my thought was, well, we are going to see a change in shift. We are going to start to migrate from the Google search to asking these powerful AI models, what kind of accuracy do they have? Should we rely on them? Or are there any caveats that we should worry about? That was the motivation. And to our surprise, it paid out. There are a whole bunch of things that we need to worry about and must be aware of before we start using this for a task like self-diagnosis, if you want to call it that.
Now, as someone who has personally, by my family and friends, been banned from using Google to self-diagnose because I've gotten myself in quite a few pickles for no reason, it was just a headache. I completely understand being a little wary of something like AI self-diagnosing you rather than a medical doctor. So my question is, if we're looking at a perfect world, how should these AI or large language models be actually working to accurately diagnose us? What's the perfect scenario?
The perfect scenario right now is you don't use them to diagnose yourself. You let the experts use it. See, AI is very task-oriented. It is built for a specific task. Whatever input you get depends, and the output completely depend on each other. So essentially, you must be in presence of an expert, in this case a medical professional, who can put in the correct input to get the correct output and then interpret the results. Without that, you are stepping into a trap from our research.
Without that, you are going to be getting probably a little more dangerous of a diagnosis that is actually accurate, is what it seems.
Well, yes and no, because if you can prompt them correctly, they have decent accuracy. Our results show that if we use ChatGPT, for example, we can get up to 63% accuracy against Google's Gemini model, which we got only 6% accuracy. Now, that would be a bit risky. But yes, if you can prompt them correctly. For example, there's a whole lot of factors that go into it. Age, race, sex, family history, that we do not account for when we are typing it into Google search. But a doctor looks at them. And if you provide all those informations to these models, they have a decent amount of accuracy. But again, they give you a whole list of more outputs or diagnoses that you can have, and you have to pick your best one. And most often the times, the way we think as humans, we tend to be towards the negative side. So that's why it has the potential, but it's not right there for you to use it. We would suggest let the doctors or the experts use it.
And that actually brings me right into my next question. You said that ChatGPT has about a 63% accuracy rate. Google's AI form, I believe it's called Gemini, only has a 6% accuracy.
Yes.
Why are these two different versions of the same technology so wildly different from each other?
Well, it depends a lot on what it has been trained on. Like I said, AI models depend totally on the input. If the models have been trained on data set that has seen enough cases, like diagnosis cases, then it'll perform better. There is a model that works drastically better. It's by Google again. It's called MedPalm 2. They have achieved 86% accuracy on USMLE style questions. But that's the caveat. It's USMLE style questions where it's detailed, it's fine-tuned by a medical professional. For us, if we can write questions and prompt it, maybe we would get with that 83, 86% accuracy. Otherwise, again, stay away from it. Don't self-diagnose, especially with these AI models.
So we're a little ways away from being able to just type our symptoms into an AI model and going to pick up a prescription on what it gives us. But what is the main concerns with these AI models being used to self-diagnose, especially from a researching standpoint?
Well, the main concern would be us doing it. That's my biggest concern, because we shouldn't be. We are not trained medical professionals and not are these AI models either. So that's where the caution lies. The doctors have accepted that AI needs to be integrated and they are working towards it. We are working together with the doctors to alleviate some of the problems. But the way it is right now, you need the expert to do it. So that's my 2 cents.
Now, I, quite frankly, just personally am terrified of the thought of artificial intelligence. It really freaks me out. I haven't even used ChatGPT because I'm scared of all the potential consequences. So for someone to be researching it, I just have to ask, do you have the same concerns that some of us consumers do where it comes to, you know, am I training this to not necessarily take over the world someday, but something to that effect? Do you guys have the same concerns?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Because, let me put it out there, I know this is a very sensitive topic right now. We have things to worry about, bias, ethics, responsibility, definitely. But taking over the world, Skynet, Terminator, not happening soon. Plus, we can put it like this, that as long as the models are being used by experts, we have a lot more control over it. We can interpret the results from it. So we are not there for Skynet yet, but yes, we have to think about this, that the ethics, bias, those challenges are there, and jointly as a team, the doctors, us researchers in the computer science field are working to elevate those. Unless we elevate those, we have things to worry about. That's all.
All right, now my last question, how long do you think until AI is integrated into the medical profession, if you can say?
It's already integrated to a great extent.
Okay.
Like I said, experts are using it. If you go to certain hospitals, I'm not going to name them, but they are using AI to screen you. Radiology is one of the fields where AI is big. All your scans, we have pretty decent models that can accurately tell us what's wrong, where it's wrong, and they have been deployed, they're used. So they have been used, but again, under the operation of an expert. So coming back also to the previous question you asked, AI is not going to take over. What we are going to need to do is upskill as a society. AI is not going to take away your jobs. We are going to upskill as a society and leverage AI. For example, healthcare professionals have accepted the fact that we need to leverage it to alleviate concerns of overburdening in the healthcare system. If we can use it, we can make our life easier. It's just a tool to make our life easier.
All right, well, is there anything else that I haven't gotten the chance to ask you that you'd like to let our viewers know?
I think you have pretty much covered it, but to reiterate the main point again, AI is not going to take away your job. Don't worry about that. Yes, we will need to upskill, we will need to learn to leverage AI, but we are still going to be relevant as experts.
We're not looking at Terminator just yet.
No.
But of course, you'll be the first to come on whenever we get there.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll come back here and let you know that we have the Terminator up there.
Alrighty, once again, UT Tyler, Assistant Professor of Computer Science, Dr. Sean Dakshi, thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.